So this is the new grip after my first golf lesson. Interlocks like this with the trigger grip. These are 5 things that I learned from my first golf lesson that helped my beginner swing. For the grip, what I used to do prior to my first golf lesson is I would grip the golf club like a bat. But when I would do that, my hits were never consistent. Then what I started doing is they showed me of one of the grips. So you would cross your pinky in between your index finger and your middle finger, crossing it like this. You would do the trigger finger, putting the trigger finger and then your thumb over it. So this is the new grip after my first golf lesson, allowing to help for a better, stronger grip. Again, this is the old grip. I would grip it like a baseball bat, like this. After my first golf lesson was crossing pinky and index finger, turning my left hand, trigger finger, and then thumb over it. And that actually helped me turn my left hand, which would straighten my arm. So that's the difference between my grip. The second tip that helped me for my beginner golf swing was maintaining arm structure. Before, when I used to swing, I used to bend my arm and then tuck it here. That's what my instructors said I was doing as we reviewed video. I would tuck my arm like a chicken wing and then swing. So then I would never maintain a rigid structure for my golf swing. I would have to make sure that both of these arms are straight through the whole process of the swing, without chicken winging. I'll show it again. Maintaining the triangle and straight arm. Here's from the beginning. I used to kind of just loosely hold it and I would bend my arms. Instead, I was maintaining a rigid structure and the triangle that my arms would form through the whole swing, especially here on the through swing, and then all the way to the end. That's the second tip that I learned. The third tip that I learned from my first golf lesson was turning through to a balanced finish. So what I used to do when I would swing, I would slightly turn this back foot. But then after my first lesson, what I learned is that when you're in the through swing, my coach instructed me to bring this knee to your other knee and turn your toes all the way forward. The difference of what before used to look like was here, after was here. More of a rotation, which definitely made it a balanced finish because it will allow more of the club head rotation, versus here was not as much. Ooh. The fourth tip that I learned from my first golf lesson was when I was getting set up to hit the golf ball, my instructor noticed that I would align the golf club a little bit to the right. So when I would swing, it wouldn't allow for a clean hit. Simple adjustment where I was also missing a lot of the swings that I was doing was to center it right down the middle of your body. So instead of to the side, centered, and that definitely helped with my through swing. The fifth and final tip that I learned from my first golf lesson was controlling the club head in order to improve on my right miss. What that means is that when I would swing, I wouldn't rotate enough and the ball would constantly go to the right. So I always wondered why I kept hitting it and it kept going to the right, kept going to the right. And it was because when I would progress and swing, I would leave the club head pointing to the right instead of turning it. So if you turn it and you maintain it straight, then the ball goes straight. If you turn it too much, it goes to the left. But usually the problem with beginners is that it's left open and it constantly goes to the right. Really controlling the club head helped me make sure that I was able to be consistent with all my golf swings. Instead of leaving it open, I was making sure I controlled it in rotation, keeping it straight so that the ball goes straight. Where you point it is where the ball goes. If it goes to the left, it'll go to the left and go straight. And if you leave it open and turn to the right, that's when it goes to the right, and that's why I kept on getting my right miss. Once I learned more control on that, it completely improved my swing. And those are my 5 tips that I learned from my first golf lesson that completely helped my beginner swing.